Hi there, my name is Dave, and today we're going to be tasting an Appassimento wine from the Veneto region of Italy. So this tasting is a 2017 Arelli Trevenzi IGT Rosso for $27. So a little more expensive than some of the other wines we've been trying lately. Now, it is made in the Valpolicella region of Italy. If you look at this map, it identifies where the Veneto region is in Italy, which is in the northern part of Italy. Then if you look at this map, it shows you a more detailed map of the Veneto region. And you can see in there is the Valpolicella region or sub-region of Veneto. In the Valpolicella region, there are three different regions, and the grapes from this wine are from the Valpolicella classical region. Now, to further confuse things, this isn't a Valpolicella classical wine. It is an IGT wine, which is the same as an IGP wine. One's European and one's Italian. And that just means that it is above table wine, but it is not named for the area because they've also introduced some interesting grapes that are not native to Italy, and so they can't call it Valpolicella Classico. Now, Appassimento means passionate in Italian, and it is a process of natural partial dehydration of grapes to produce a greater concentration of aromas and colors and flavors in the wine. Now, since partially dried grapes also have a higher concentration of sugars, you can also make really sweet wines that are quite concentrated. But this isn't one. This is a dry wine. So if you look at the different types of Appassimento wines, Amarone is the best expression of Appassimento, and they're quite expensive. And Recioto is the sweet version of Appassimento wine. If you make Amarone and you take the discarded grapes and you plunk them in the fresh juice of other wines that you've harvested and let them simmer in there with the other juice and the other grape skins while it's fermenting, that is called ripasso. And that is another type of Italian Appassimento wine. Now, this wine is an 2017 Arelli Trevenzi IGT Rosso red wine. And it is an Appassimento wine too, but it's a little different. Now, first we'll talk about Arelli. The name Arelli takes its name from the wooden and bamboo racks that they use to dry the grapes. And they're left to dry for a certain amount of time, depending on the wine and depending on the producer. The grapes for this wine are Corvina, Rondinella, Oceletta, and Merlot. So having Merlot in here, they have to call it an IGT wine because it doesn't qualify for the village name or the area name in the label. This was grown in the hillside vineyards of Valpolicella in the Valpolicella Classico region. Of all the grapes that were used for this wine, 30% of them, and I'm not sure which varietals, 30% of them were given the Appassimento treatment. So they were air dried for 45 days. So it sounds like the rest of the grapes weren't. So it's a partially Appassimento wine. After that, the wine spent 12 months in Slovenian oak casks and then eventually aged in the bottle for a little bit. So I think it's time to taste this hopefully very flavorful Arelli Trevenzi IGT Rosa 2017, $27 from Italy. I said appearance, clear, medium ruby. Nose, Medium plus intensity, because I was right here and I could already smell it. Clean. So I said it sort of had a deep fruit smell, like a dark, deep fruit smell. Sort of brambles, blueberry, blackcurrant, maybe a little bit of red fruit like strawberry or cranberry, which is not unusual since there's so many grapes in this wine. Um, a little bit of bell pepper, that sort of bell pepper smell. Some fig. I couldn't decide if it was raisin or fig. Then sort of in the oaky thing, I got more cloves than vanilla. And then sort of some toast and light smoke. So it wasn't, for me, it wasn't really strong like tobacco, cedar. It might be on the palate, but on the nose, it was quite light. I got sort of an overall sort of dried dark fruit smell, or cooked dark fruit smell, I guess. Cooked dark fruit smell, as well as some wet leaves or earthy smell. I didn't really get a mushroomy or leather smell. I just more of a earthy smell.
And I think maybe because you have 4 different grapes, you've got this intermeshing of aromas that maybe that's my excuse for having difficulty in identifying them.
Well, I'm quite excited to try this out and see the taste, if it's going to match the nose, because the nose is great. Yeah. So let's give it a shot there.
Okay.
Quite a bit acidic, and there's less fruit on the palate. I said red and black fruit, dried. Yeah, I agree with you there. Bell pepper, black pepper. In fact, I felt before I had the food, especially, it's quite spicy. It's almost a spicy taste to it. And as I suspected, some cedar and some tobacco definitely on the palate, and some smoke. Still that earthiness was there. Like I said, it was a bit acidic, but once you had food, the food just elevates this wine again, like similar wines we've had from Italy. And it would be a shame. Imagine if you were in a winery and you're trying this wine and you didn't have anything to eat. You thought, oh, this is too acidic. But once you have the food, huge different experience. I said it was balanced. Balance was, it was a bit acidic, but again, with food it was different. Length, with food, a completely different story. Intense, with or without food, it was good intensity, and it had pretty good complexity. So I would rate it between good and very good as well. I think this one definitely needs some food. It's a bit pricey, but with the right food, I think it's an excellent wine. There aren't a lot of Appassimento wines in the Okanagan, and in fact, I can only think of 2 wineries that carry Appassimento wine. One is Intersection, and I know they did carry them. I'm not sure if they still do. And the other is one that I've done a blog entry on before, and that is Pentage. So there are at least 1, most likely 2. There might be more that I don't know of, but those are 2 for sure that have made wines that are Appassimento style, and they are very tasty. If you are looking into booking a wine tour of the Okanagan next year, and you are interested in a customizable, flexible, and completely private wine tour in the comfort of your own vehicle, please check out the link below in the comments.